Hello guys, welcome back to Callyalater Podcast, episode number 43. My name is John.
And I'm Kelly. Hi
Hello.
guys.
Welcome back.
To our podcast. Thank you so much for checking it out.
Thanks for coming.
We really appreciate it.
We're happy to have you here.
Yes. So last week we talked all about being social during a pandemic, but with Valentine's Day coming up and everything, we wanted to do a whole 2-part series
Yes.
on dating.
Yes.
So this is going to be all about first date safety tips.
It's important to be safe on first dates.
It sounds kind of funny, but a lot of times when you go out with someone for the first time, you don't know anything about them because it's a first date. Now, there are cases where you've already been friends with them, but we're saying, like, if you don't know this person and say it's like a friend of a friend, or you just met someone at a bar and they're like, let's go out sometime. We're going to tell you all our tips and tricks on how to be safe on that date.
There are a lot of them.
And just, like, things that you should be doing to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a first date, you know, maybe you should know this stuff. You
have to be safe.
And I think safety is so important. So we're going to be going over what to know before going into the date, how to be prepared, having emergency contact, how to start the date safely, setting boundaries, how to keep the date fun and safe, how to end the date, and how to set up the next one safely and responsibly. Yes. So, my little disclaimer and quote before we get started.
I love your disclaimer.
Is first dates are fun, but you have to be safe.
You always have to be safe with it.
It's kind of common sense.
But there's so much more to it, you know? It's
just like, even though it's a beautiful thing to trust people easily, you don't want to be overly trusting.
You don't want to throw all your trust into someone right away.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I think that's a big one.
Should we go back and forth on what to know going into a date, how to be prepared?
That idea.
All right. You want to start first?
Okay. So my first thing for going into the date, and I think this is so important, I've always done this for every date I've ever gone on, is have their basic info. Yeah. You want to know their full name, first and last, their phone number. The address doesn't matter. You might want to know the type of car they drive so that, like, it's kind of like, it sounds really weird, but again, with having a contact, you want to tell whoever you're going to tell you're going on a date with this information. And I don't want to freak anyone out, but, like, if something happens to you, that way they can be like, so-and-so went on a date with this guy. He drives this car, or girl,
You're prepping for the worst, even though you're hoping for the best.
Exactly. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
But it's, like, things you have to be mindful of.
You have to be prepared for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I said always tell someone where you're going, who you're going with, and when you will be home. Have the person that's your emergency contact on speed dial.
Oh, do people use speed dial?
I mean, you have, like, favorites in iPhone.
Okay.
That you can, like, set as your favorite contact.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And always have them, like, ready to call at a moment's notice.
And it can be hard, like, if you live alone. But even, like, if you live alone, there's someone you can tell, whether it's a boss, a friend, a parent, a sibling, you know? So I think that's so important. So for my second bullet point was let someone know their info and where you're going. So again, that emergency contact. You want someone to know all the stuff that you know going into it in case something does happen.
You're completely right. Funny enough, speaking of letting someone know, I don't know the name of the guy specifically right now. But on
Is
Reel,
it the Reel? Where the Uber driver?
Yes.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yes, so it's like this. There's this Instagram Reel where this guy, like, plays out a fake conversation call. If you're, like, uncomfortable in an Uber, you can play it, and he, like, fake FaceTimes you and asks you to get home right now, and it says, like, you better get home right now. Mom's tracking your phone.
And then his mom comes on and acts like your mom. But it's that thing, like, you want to have those things prepared.
It's a fallout plan.
Now, I hope no one has to be prepared.
No, absolutely.
I hope none of you have to ever experience that, but it's like that thing you always have to be prepared.
You have to be prepared for the worst. I'm glad you've seen that. It's not just me. Oh my gosh,
yes. No, I saved it. I thought it was cute.
Yeah, I think I saved it too.
Yeah, like, I don't think I'll ever use it, but, like, I don't take Ubers. I'm, like, too scared. Yeah. I'm a chicken. You know, like, I'm like, I can't do it.
The option's there.
But it's there if need be.
Always set up the date in a safe area.
Mine says that
no
too.
Kidding.
Okay, I said safe place.
Yeah. But no, always make sure, like, that you know where you know the area you're going on a date in. It's tough to do that sometimes, especially if you live far apart. But always make sure you know where you're going ahead of time. Like, even if you have to go check out the place before you go on the date, know where you're going so you're safe about it.
I'm gonna tag on to that one with mine.
Go for it.
And especially, like, as a girl's point of view, but I think guys can do this as well. Meet up on the first date. There's multiple reasons for this. First one is if you ask someone to pick you up, they're gonna know where you live.
Yeah.
Which,
you always
again,
gotta meet up.
I don't want to sound like crazy and like scary people out there, but there's scary people out there. And you don't want someone, like, if the date goes well, you don't want them egging your house, you know, like, or you don't want them, like, creeping on you, you know?
You never on the first date give out your house.
Exactly. Where it's kind of hard to get picked up on a date if you give your location, you know?
Yeah.
So then I always say meet up on the date, but then that way you know exactly where you're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell the person, your contact, where you're going, and you're kind of in charge, you know?
Yeah.
Where...
Be in charge. I think that's a good way to say it.
It's being in charge, and this was huge when I started dating. Like, my parents were, like, so big on this. There's a perk to having your own car with you if you can drive. Yeah. You can leave whenever you want. You can call your own shots. You know, you're not dependent on someone. You're the boss. You're the boss. Which, again, not to freak you out, but, like, if the date's not going well, you can just leave. You don't have to be like, I need to call someone. Like, I don't know how to get out of this. So, I think it's helpful.
Agreed. Definitely. 100%. Never agree to a place that you aren't comfortable with. Now, whether that be just a date place that you're not comfortable with or going back to someone's house type uncomfortable. If you are even the slightest uncomfortable with it, that's not the best way to say that. If you are even the slightest uncomfortable, slightest bit uncomfortable, there we go. If you're even the slightest bit uncomfortable, don't do it. Say no. You can say no. It's okay. You can
say no. And sometimes it's hard, but you just have to, like, know that's against what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So my next one is kind of like that, is to look for any red flags.
Yeah.
So I think you need to be aware of red flags before you go looking for them. Like, you have to know what they are.
Yeah.
So that one's kind of hard. I feel like we've talked about this before.
We do a whole episode on relationship red flags.
I think we did a whole episode on it.
Yeah.
But I know it's crazy to, like, judge someone off the first date, but you can, like, some major red flags you will notice.
Mm-hmm. But there, I mean...
Okay, prime example. If you're meeting up, if someone's half an hour late...
Red flag.
Red flag. Like, I wrote about this later on, but I don't wait more than 10 minutes if someone's late. You know, especially for a first date.
Yeah. No, you're completely right.
You just have to look for those.
Absolutely. I suggest first before they have the chance to make the plans.
Ooh.
Suggest a place first.
I like that.
If you feel like there might be a chance that something's iffy, suggest where to go first. Or suggest where to go next.
But then again, I'm going to throw the opposite on that. If you keep suggesting, you'll never know what they're really into, what they're really like. But then also... it has to set that boundary of they have to do part of the work.
Fair enough. You're right.
But I do like that.
Yeah.
I can see both sides of it very easily.
Yeah. What's your next one?
My next one is, and this is my last one.
I have one more too.
Is share your location with someone.
Okay.
I always am constantly sharing my location with my family.
Okay.
On my phone. So my phone, they can track where I am whenever I am. I think it's just because I feel comfortable with it because I have such a high trust and respect with my family. But even if it's your best friend, have someone know where your location is. And it doesn't have to be all the time, but even if it's just for your date, turn it on. If you have an iPhone, you can do it.
Turn on the Snapchat location.
There we go. You know,
you can share it with specific people.
But I think it's just like, you have that peace of mind when you're out when that happens.
100%. Know where the date is going to end before it ends.
Okay.
So
I talk about this later.
Yeah, limit where you're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go back to someone's house if you don't want to go back to someone's house. Don't go to the next bar if you don't want to go to the next bar. Limit yourself ahead of time.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Those are really good.
Yeah, I think we both had really good ones.
Yeah, so how to start the date safely and setting boundaries. So before we were talking about, like, what you need to know and how to be prepared before actually going on the date.
Yeah.
So this is, say you're driving to the date to meet them, or you're both sitting at a table and this is coming up. You know, like, this is where we are in the date.
Okay.
That felt really weird saying.
You want to start us out?
All right. So meet there so they don't know where you live, especially if you live alone. So I kind of touched on that already, so I'll share one more if that's okay.
Yeah.
But again, it's just like keep your life private as long as you can. So then again, like John said, know what you will and won't do before a date and stay true to you.
Absolutely.
If you don't like doing certain things on the first date, don't do it. You don't have to. You're in control of your life. You know.
You do you.
You do you.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and do your last one, and I'll just do my next one?
And then I said, notice the little things. Like, are they on time? And then I mentioned I don't wait more than 10 minutes if someone's late. Did they put effort into their appearance? Are they on their phone?
That's a big one if they're on their
like,
phone.
Do they keep talking about work? Do they keep talking about girlfriend, like a past girlfriend?
Yeah.
Like, little things. Like, if you notice it on the first date, are you really do you want to go on a second date with them? If they're, like, already doing it, you know, like that kind of thing.
No, you're completely right.
Okay, let's hear yours.
So I kind of went, like, when you are first starting the date, not, like, prior to the date, like when you actually get to the date.
Right.
So establish your boundaries. If you have, like, if you feel comfortable with it, you can give them a hug. I know that's really detailed.
Ooh, okay. But like, this is good. I feel like people like need to know this.
But like, establish your body language that you're strong and you won't be messed with.
Do you think that's for girls and guys, or more one-sided?
I think that's more one-sided, to be 100% honest with you.
So would that be guy or girl?
Girl.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it could go on both sides. But
I could see it both.
But that, just make sure you know that, like, you... Again, it's all about body language. You implement that open body language, but also that you...
I don't know if I've ever gave a hug right away on the first date.
You haven't?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Again, I'm very, like, reserved.
Fair enough.
Away.
Fair enough.
Like, they have to earn it.
Okay. Fair enough. That's understandable.
Okay, sorry. I was just, like, trying to process
No.
Okay. So, body language is huge.
Always drive separately.
Definitely.
Or I'd recommend drive separately. You talked about it earlier. Make sure the date's worth your time. They could just be there for a hookup. You make sure you have to get the vibe before you go on the date, and when you first get there, make sure it's worth your time. Don't waste a whole night.
And I think too, it's like you'll know based on what you're doing that night.
Agreed.
Which sounds kind of weird, but if you're going out for drinks and dinner, and then more drinks, I don't know. I just kind of feel like usually that leads to something else.
No, it normally does.
Yeah. Where like if you're going to go do an activity, or even better yet, the time of day of the date.
You make a very good point.
Dropping that one out there. Usually if it's before 10, it's technically a dinner date. After 10, it's kind of drinks and fun. And then afternoon, it's like, wow, they really like just want to spend time with me.
Exactly. It's all about timing.
Exactly.
Everything's about timing.
But again, that doesn't always apply. Yeah. It's just usually how it goes.
You're right. And then my last one, smile. If you mean it, smile. I know that sounds really weird, but like, a smile goes a long way because you got to show that you're comfortable on the date. Because not only you have to be ready for all situations, you also want to have a good time on the date. Enjoy it.
And it's, again, you want to have that positive body language where, like, they have to be giving you positive body language, but you also have to be giving it to them so you can keep moving forward with the date.
It's the back and forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So keeping the date safe and fun. So I said keep the conversation easy and flowing, but I also said don't get too deep on the first date.
No, never do.
So you don't want to have just small talk the whole night, but you also don't want to go into, well, this happened last year and it was just awful.
You want informational questions. You want to find out more about the person, but you don't want to be like, oh my God, my ex did this, and that.
And then don't talk about your ex on the first date.
Heck no.
It's going to end
never
badly.
Talk about your ex. It's going to end badly.
But also, like, when I say, like, don't get too deep, and I said this as my next one, don't overshare. So kind of, like, again, the safety tip in me's, like, the mom in me's coming out, like, don't do this. And everyone does it differently. I'm not saying you can't do this. It's just, like, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, like, kind of how I said, like, when you drive separate, they won't know where you live. But it's also, you don't want to overshare, like, oh, yeah, I work at this place this time. Like, you don't want to give out your schedule. Because you want to also seem mysterious on the first date.
You do. You got to make them want more.
You got to have them coming back. You got to leave them hanging. But you also don't want them to be able to, like, stalk you.
No.
Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying. Like,
some people are weird.
Some people are just weird out there, and you don't want to overshare. Like, give your whole family background away. Or, like, I don't know, like, there's just some things that you have to be very safe about.
You gotta be reserved about some things.
Exactly, but also you have to leave them hanging, coming back for more. Okay, so that's what I said for keeping the date safe and fun. What do you got?
So I said, don't go anywhere you don't know. That's obvious.
That's a big one.
I said that one earlier. It's a big one, though. Don't go anywhere you don't know.
I even feel like with friends, like, you don't want to go somewhere you don't know. But you also want to be adventurous and try new things, but, like, if it has,
there's a limit.
Look it up on Yelp.
Don't go to a shady bowling alley. Yeah.
Look up the reviews.
Don't meet up with anyone you don't know, you don't trust. If they're gonna have anyone else there that you don't know, like the person you're going on a date with, don't let that fly. Shut that one down early.
Kind of too, like if they end up bringing their friend yet didn't tell you to bring your friend.
Yeah.
Leave.
No, absolutely. That's gonna end badly.
Just not worth it.
Has that happened to you before?
Don't do it.
Text your contact midway through the date. Just let them know that you're doing okay. Just send them a thumbs up. All you gotta do is send them a thumbs up. Or if they go to the bathroom, send them a nice gossip text about how well the date's going or how horribly the date's going. Just keep them in the know. So that way someone knows you're safe.
Right. I love that one.
Enjoy what you're doing, but stay alert at all times. Don't let anything happen to you that shouldn't happen.
One time, like, I don't want to get, like, story time on this.
Story time. Let's do story time.
One time I went on a date. And, again, I was like, fresh out of high school, so I was kind of young. And, again, like, I think the more dates you go on, the better you get at it.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, again, stay alert. we went ice skating and I brought my purse with me and we didn't get a locker, and I remember giving my purse to the people behind the counter to hold it.
Oh.
And looking back on it, like, they didn't take anything. They didn't even open my purse. Like, I could tell because of the lock and stuff on it. But looking back on it, I was like, oh my goodness. My ID's in there, my credit card, everything was in my purse. But I was so, like, blinded by the state that you have to stay alert.
You always have to stay alert.
That, looking back on it, I wish I never done that. So don't give your purse to the people behind the counter.
Never do that.
Don't do that one.
And finally, I said, state how the date is going to end ahead of time. Don't let them schmooze you into something else. Don't let them take you.
How would you do that?
So, again, it's in more of the setup process.
Okay, as a guy, what would you say? I'll tell you what I would say.
See, but again,
I'm so curious.
State what all you're going to do ahead of time. So if we're going to go on a date, we're going to ice skate and go to dinner and then call it.
All right. So I would kind of be like...
So then vice versa, if you were a girl, you'd be like, okay, we're going to do this. Like, agree upon everything you're going to do ahead of time so you don't get suckered into something you don't want to do.
Okay, I think, too, like, another way to do it, like, say you are having drinks.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do anything after. Be like, I had so much fun getting drinks with you. Maybe next time we can get drinks and do something else.
Exactly.
Where you kind of make it clear that you're not interested in anything else that time. Or
100%.
make it clear, like, oh, this is really fun. What do you want to do next? You know? Just depending on what you're comfortable with and what you are willing to do and not do. But you have to, like, address it.
Agreed.
People can't read your mind.
No, you have to put it out there. Everything has to be on the table.
Yes, I like that a lot. All right, so ending the date safely?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to start?
I guess I should have used that last one for how to end the date safely, but
I guess
it's
a
prior,
point,
yeah.
Because it's kind of like you want to address it mid-date too. Like,
fair enough.
What do you want to do next? Well,
Fair
I didn't
enough.
know there was a next, or I was thinking this. You know, like there's so many ways that it can go.
Should I just list all mine and then you list all yours? All right, cool. So, how to end a date safely and responsibly. Give them a nice hug and then give them thanks. But the hug has to be the hug goodbye. Don't let them think it's going anywhere else. It can just be a nice hug goodbye. Give them thanks for the date and let it end.
Okay.
You don't look like you agree with that one.
I don't know. I think it could go either way. It depends. It depends how the date goes.
Fair enough.
Depends what people are comfortable with.
I said make sure to let your contact know that you are okay and safe and on your way home again.
Okay.
I said do not go back to anyone's house that you do not trust. I kind of hit on the same like 5 points over and over again, but it's those 5 points are the most crucial points.
Yeah.
I said drive safe and smart at all times. You know what that means.
Definitely don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
Don't do other things and drive.
Yeah. Always be smart and safe when you drive. And then mention the next date if you had fun.
And only if you had fun. Like
only if you had fun.
If you don't want to go on a second date, don't even hint at the second date.
Don't talk about it. Just be like, thanks, I had a good time tonight. Bye.
Definitely. And going back on the don't go back to anyone's house that you don't trust. If you end up doing like going back to someone's house, like a smart way to go about it is to be aware of like the neighborhoods in your area, like even like their area, because you can kind of play it around. And if you're like, oh, that's a shady area, kind of know that ahead of time, or kind of like have it click in your head and be like, okay, maybe not, you know, like because that does play a factor.
It really does.
And like what you're comfortable with. But I really like all yours. I went a little bit different, and I said both should offer to pay.
Yeah.
So again, I was always raised up like the boy should offer to pay, but at the same time, you should offer to pay to see if they would rather that. Like, you have to be equal.
You gotta test the water.
And it really does depend. Or, like, if you go multiple places, like, you pay one, they pay the other. It just really does depend on the situation, because everyone's situation is different. But I think, too, that shows a lot about character.
Agreed.
Where, like,
I'm pretty traditional. I'm like, the dude should probably pay for the first date.
John's usually paid for most of our first dates.
Yeah.
Like, that was how it went. But I did offer.
You did. Every time.
I did.
Every time you did.
But it's like that thing, like, if they don't offer to pay, maybe they don't think of this as a relationship. Like, it might not go somewhere.
Yeah.
They also might have different, like, thoughts on relationships. You know, it also could be like, we just got dinner, you know?
And it all comes down to what your personal preference is. But offer to pay. Be nice.
Yeah. So, just, that kind of went over the top on that. But it's
an important point.
It's like kind of like that flag, like how to look at it.
Exactly. It's one of those, it's a red flag you can pick up on if it doesn't go the way you want it to.
Yes. Then I also said, thank them for going on a date. So,
yeah.
I think this is important, like, saying thank you for going on a date, like, when you first get on the date. Because I think it's like, thanks for coming out tonight. Then you hit them with the thanks at the end, like, I had a lot of fun, thank you. And then if you really like them and want a second date, that's when you text them. If you don't, like, if it ends at the date, you say, I had so much fun tonight. Thank you. Looking forward to the next time. Or hope there's a next time. You know, like that kind of thing. But it's just expressing your thanks for it.
100%
Especially
agree.
if they were, like, a genuinely nice person. Like, not everyone's like that, so you should say thanks.
Always give thanks.
And then only do what you're comfortable with.
Again, we go back to the same thing over, but you have to know your comfort levels.
And that can change over time. Say you go on 5 dates and you don't want to do something, and then on the 6th date you want to try something new because the 5's not working, or you just want to switch it up, or you kind of are tired of something.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's
Not
just
at
what
all.
you have to be comfortable with because you don't want to have any regrets.
Agreed.
And
No
I think that's a
regrets.
big one.
Not
No
even
regrets.
one letter.
You just have to have fun. All right. So setting up the next date.
Slide in via text. Say how much fun you had.
I gave you like a
Exactly.
little, you can text it out where you were listening, like, hey, I had a really good time tonight. Would love to do it again. Thanks again. Like, pretty easy. So I said this is tough. Some people plan this, like, the second date on the date.
Yeah, no.
I'm pretty sure we were like,
yeah.
when do you want to hang out next? Like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it really depends on how the date went, your connection with the person, what both of you guys are looking for. Or they might play the 3-day game. I personally don't do games. I don't think it's fun.
No, don't play games.
It's a waste of time.
Don't play
But by
games.
all means, if you're really interested in this person and you want to play the game, play the game. But it's also that same thing, like, you have to go back to, like, are they going to text you first with, I had a great time, or are you going to text them first?
It's that game.
You're always kind of playing a game. It just depends on how much of the game you're going to play.
Yeah, it depends on how much you want to get into it.
Exactly.
Because it can get pretty extreme at times.
And I'm not saying it's technically always 3 days. I think that people just call it a 3-day
Some 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, you know. If someone doesn't respond to you in 3 weeks, it's over.
Make sure you want to and don't get talked into anything.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, drive safely and drive responsible if you drive. But even if you're not the one driving and say you get picked up, make sure they're driving safely and responsible because you're in the car.
No, absolutely.
Always wear your seatbelt. Make sure everything's safe.
Be safe.
Yes. All right. So now our new little segment.
Yeah. Oh, can I finish my last one?
Oh, you had 2 more?
I had 2 more, yeah.
Oh my God, I thought we went through the whole list.
No, you're good, you're good.
I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Okay.
No stress. I said, hint at the fact that you want to go on another date. If you're having fun on the date, nudge it in a little bit and see if they're interested. Just drop like this, like, oh, I like doing this. Would you ever want to do that sometime?
The best one is
what's
like
the best
if you're
one?
driving somewhere and you're like, oh, I really love that restaurant.
And
And then it's like you're dropping hints, but like you're not really asking for it.
You're
They're
salt
like,
baying it.
did you hear so-and-so's coming to town for a concert this summer?
Yeah.
Do you like them? You know what I mean?
It's
like,
the little things.
It's the little things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I said, make the move. Shoot your shot and secure the next date. Just do it. If you want to go on another date, just shoot your shot. Like,
I like that.
Again, like, what's the worst they're going to say? No?
Yeah.
So, I say just do it.
Okay, just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Take
okay.
Nike's logo.
No.
Just do it.
Just do it. Swoosh.
All right. Now on to our
Yes.
learning experience.
Yes.
You want to start us off? I feel
Sure.
bad. I feel like I
No,
totally
you're
cut
good.
you
You're
off.
good. You're good. I said, always protect your date as a dude. I came at it from the dude's perspective on this
Okay,
one.
I like that.
Make her feel safe, open her door, be nice, pay for the date, make her feel at home.
Yeah, especially if you like the girl.
Exactly. Make the girl feel comfortable around you. Like,
Yeah.
build up that comfort and trust level.
Okay.
Like, always, and again, I know I say protect, which sounds weird, but like, don't let anybody mess around. You know?
Yeah.
Like, protect the girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm always,
I feel like you
I'm
do
really
that so I can see
protective.
that's like you're learning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just
That
open
makes
their door.
sense.
That's the simplest thing. Like,
I like
open her door.
that. Yeah. John opens my door all the time.
I guess I wasn't necessarily, that's just something I've learned over like
Yeah.
time, but I don't
like
know.
that.
That's really important to me. Like, I like to
Yeah.
open your door.
I
Like,
think
every
that's,
chance
like,
I
a
get.
nice thing. Even like even if we weren't dating and that was like your first date, like it shows your character on a date.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because I think I opened your door the first time, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My parents were like, "Oh my god." You really like went up in so many cool points too, because the guys I dated before you were like such like scumballs that I was like, yeah, we're not gonna get into that though. No, we don't need to discuss that. Anyways, so what I learned from all the first dates I've been on, not that I've gone on a lot, but I have. Always share your location with your family. Like, I know I like am repetitive with that, and if
It's
your
important.
family's not close, share it with your roommate, your friend, your best friend, even if your best friend's across the world.
They can still do something.
They can still check in on you. And don't trust too easily.
No, never trust too easily.
Go back to my ice skating purse story. Don't leave your purse with someone.
Don't do that.
Like, even if you're on a first date and you leave your purse in their car, like, don't do that either.
That's a
Because, like,
risk.
what if they just drive off without you and you don't have anything to get home?
Yeah, never do that.
Yeah. I learned that one for you guys.
Good learning experiences.
All right, so if you guys want to catch more of us because you just can't get enough.
I know, right?
Be sure to check out our social medias. Instagram's Callyalater Podcast.
Twitter's Callyalater Pod. #tweet you later.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Leave us a review, please.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Same.
You know, I'm just like looking at this, and I said next week we're talking about our dating guide. I think I said this was part 1. So are we gonna have a 3-part dating guide?
I think we have 1 or 2. Let me pull up our good old calendar here.
We have a shared Apple calendar.
Oh, it's
getting
crazy.
Serious.
All right, so yeah, we have the first date safety.
All right.
Oh,
is it clicking?
So then we have, technically speaking, this is like a preface to a 2-part series. So next up, we have the ultimate guide on how to get a date for Valentine's Day. And then after that, we have the ultimate Valentine's Day guide, part 2. So how to get a date and then how to crush the date.
Valentine's Day is my favorite holiday.
So,
yeah, we're going to crush it.
You rocking the 45 days of pink?
We got 45 days of pink going on. If you need some pink outfit inspiration, be sure to check out the Instagram.
Heck yeah.
I think the next 2 episodes are going to be very juicy.
Yeah, this was a prequel.
Yeah, this is just like, we had to prep you for the first date that you're going to get from our tips from the next episode.
Because you're about to get next week, you're going to get a date. Get ready for it.
If you follow it, you're going to get a date. So we're really excited.
Heck yeah.
Boom. Okay, so thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. Call you later.
Bye.